Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnana-anjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so 18th chapter. Yesterday we were doing the first few shlokas of 18th chapter, right? So what is 18th chapter all about? A small recap. It is called Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, or Krishna explains the most confidential path to attain liberation. Okay, Moksha Upadesha Yoga also it is called as. Okay, so here Krishna says how and the right way. Krishna explains the right way to renounce our right way of renunciation. We should not renounce the activity as a whole. We should not quit our jobs. We should not renounce anything that we do. We should only renounce the fruits of the activity that we do. Okay, the returns or the results of what we get from doing that job or activity, that is what we have to renounce. To whom? We have to give it to the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. Okay, uh, any other whimsical renunciation or any other kind of renunciation which is against the scriptural injunctions is not considered as path of liberation. Rather, it binds us. The karma binds us. Okay, and yeah, so this is called the actual or the true sense of renunciation. And now, so Krishna has made it clear that we have to perform the activity. We have to not stop performing activity. Okay, the example that I told you last class, if the doctor says, I will quit my job, I'll renounce my job and sits at home, who will treat the patients? Right? If all the doctors take the same decision, all the patients will die. Right? So, if the agriculturist or the farmer says, no, I will renounce my job, we will not get food grains to eat. And if the teacher stops teaching, nobody will get educated, right? So we have to renounce only the fruits or the returns, the results we get, the salary we get, or any other returns we get out of that activity. That is what we got to renounce, not the activity as a whole. Okay, so now Krishna is proceeding to the next part of the chapter where he explains about the activity. Okay, we should not renounce the activity, so we have to perform the activity. Now details about the activity. Okay, these are jnana yoga, right? So Krishna is giving us complete knowledge about the activity that we perform. Adhishtanam tatakar karta karanam cha pratagvidham vividhascha pratakchesta daivam cha chaivatra panchamam. So there are five elements or the five actors that make an action or an activity to happen. Okay, so panchamam, so five. There are five elements or factors which make an activity to happen. And what are they? First one is the place of action. To perform any activity, you need a place, right? The soul or the soul is sitting in the mind, right? We already learned that in kshetragna vibhaga yoga that kshetra is the body, right? That is where the soul is resting. So, the body is the place of action. Soul performs all its activities living in the body. If there is no body, if the soul does not stay in the body, then the soul cannot perform any activity. This is the reason we are given a body, right? So, place of action is the body, the performer. Okay, this is needed. If these five elements or factors are not there, an activity does not happen. So, place is needed, performer is needed. Okay, then the various sense organs are needed. To perform any activity, we need sense organs, right? And then many different kinds of endeavor is needed, right? Without attempt, endeavor, effort, no activity happens. And the final, last but not the least, it is the super soul. If the super soul does not sanction whatever desire you have, however intense your desire is, the desire will not be, you will not be able to fulfill your desire because the super soul has not sanctioned. Okay, so fifth factor is the super soul. So these are the five factors, very important. Remember, okay. So we perform activity using our body, mind, speech. Okay, these are the three ways we perform our activities. But to perform this activity, we need these five elements. The super soul is the doer, right? And soul does the activity staying in the body. So the place of activity is body. And then how does the soul do? By efforts, endeavor. So endeavor is needed, and then sense organs are needed. And then any activity is divided into two types, okay? Religious activity, irreligious activity. Okay? Vikarma or the wrong activity, okay, and then sukarma, we say good activity or the right actions. Okay, so irreligious activities are anything performed against the scriptural injunctions, and religious activity is which is performed based on the scriptural injunction. These are the two types of activity. Okay, so like you see in the picture, this is a very nice example to understand. If you want to construct a building, construction of a building is an activity. For that you need a site, right? An empty place to construct. So place of action is needed. And then what else? You need people, doer, right? The masons and engineers and all that. So doer of the activity, in our case it is the soul, that is the doer. We need the soul, right? And then we need endeavor. Without endeavor, nothing happens. And then we need sense organs, power to imagine, right? In this case, how the building has to look, right? That is power of imagination. Mind comes into picture there. So mind is also a sense organ is needed. And then to make all this happen, we need the Lord's approval, sanction. Okay, without Krishna's sanction, nothing happens. So super soul sitting in everybody's heart controls our actions, right? Our desires. So he makes it happen. If he sanctions, the building will come up. Otherwise the building will not come up. Okay, so this is a very easy way to understand. Okay, so karta is the doer or the soul that is doing the activity. Okay, adhisthanam, the body, the where the soul rests. Wherever the soul is doing the activity, that is called the place of action. And then instruments of action, okay, by the sense organs. And then um, every action needs requires endeavor. Okay, and then super soul is the ultimate sanction. So if you do any activity in full Krishna consciousness, then it is called religious activity. Okay, because you're doing it in accordance with the scriptural injunctions. And if you're doing it against the scriptural injunctions, it becomes vikarma, and you'll have to face bad reaction for it. Okay. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuya pashyati akarta buddhitvan nasa pashyati durmatihi. So one who thinks himself only the doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly foolish. Some people think, no, I am the doer. I am only doing everything. So if the doer has to do something, these are the five factors that has to support. First of all, we are not the body. The soul is doing. Okay, we are not doing anything. Okay, so foolish people forget about these five factors and they think I am the doer. Okay, they are themselves the doer. And then we also have to understand that Sarvasya Chaham Hridisa Nivishto, Krishna says, right? Sitting in the heart as super soul. He is first of all giving us the intelligence and the energy to do the endeavor so that we can do the activity. So super soul again controls the other four factors. All the five factors are needed for the activity, but the fifth or the first factor is super soul. Okay, because super soul, without super soul sanction, the other four factors will not work. Okay, this is very very important. One has to understand this. If he understands, then that person is said to be in full knowledge. यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भाव बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वापि सा इमा लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते. So yeah, so this we can relate to Arjuna. Okay. Arjuna was initially thinking that he is the doer of the activity, right? That's why he was like, I will get papa, I will get punya. What if um, I get punya for killing Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya and all that. And then he also was thinking about enjoyment. He was thinking about the family traditions, all the five reasons that we saw in the first chapter, right? For Arjuna saying not to fight, that he doesn't want to fight. So that is because he doesn't know it is the sanction of the super soul that is making him do the activity. He was just thinking he is the doer of the action, that too on the bodily platform, right? He was not even aware of the soul concept and all that until Krishna explained to him in second chapter, right? And then he understood. Now he's able to relate to it. Okay, it's Krishna. So under the direction of Krishna, or the Lord, whatever you're doing is definitely akarma. Okay, you're doing it for the satisfaction of Krishna, so one does not have to worry about the results. Okay, that is the bad or good karmic reactions to face. Okay, so even killing somebody under the direction of the Lord is not killing. Okay, that is the way it has to be. The Lord plans, right? It is all under his will. Things happen. Even a blade of grass doesn't move without Krishna's order, right? So his arrangement, everything is his arrangement. What are we? Nimitta matram bhavesavya sachin, right? We are just instrument in Krishna's hand to execute Krishna's orders, Krishna's plan. So even if it is killing a person, it is not killing if it is Krishna conscious activity. If Krishna wants us to do it, we have to do it. Okay, yeah. So a soldier killing under the commander of superior authority is not, definitely the soldier is not punished, right? If the soldier says no, killing is bad, I will not kill. If he stands at the border and says no, I will not kill, what will happen? Those enemy soldiers will come and kill all of us. The entire nation will be destroyed. Yes or no? And does the judge come and say, okay, you killed that opposition enemy's soldiers, so I will punish you? Does the judge say that? No. Soldiers' duty is to kill enemy soldiers. Yes or no? So in the same way, a devotee's duty is to carry out the orders of the Lord. Every human being's duty is to carry out the orders of the Supreme Lord, and we have to do it whether we like it or not. This is called renunciation in full knowledge. Okay, not being attached to the results of the activity, and not taking any activity personally. It is just take it in a form of service. I'm doing it as a service to the Lord. That should be our attitude. Jnanam gneyam parignata trividha karma chodana karanam karma karteti trividha karma sangraha. So knowledge, the object of knowledge, the knower. All the three factors that motivate the action, the senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of the action. So Krishna is explaining over here. So for an activity to happen, there should be some triggering elements, right? So what are those three triggering elements here? Knowledge, object of knowledge, and the knower. Okay, why are you doing the activity? The knowledge. object of knowledge, the goals or the results you get from the activity, and the knower, okay, the person who is doing the activity. These are the things which motivate the activity to happen. And then three constituents of the activity, okay, senses, work, and the doer. Okay, these are the three things which an activity consists of. Without sense organs, no activity happens, right? And the work, the endeavor in itself should be there, and the person to do the activity should be there. ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च त्रैविधा गुणभेदः भेदता प्रच्यते गुणसंख्याने यथावत् शृणुतानि अपि. So according to the three different modes of material nature, there are three kinds of knowledge: action, performer, and okay, so there are three kinds of knowledge: action, performer of action. Now hear from me. So what Krishna is saying here is, so far whatever we learned, knowledge, action, and the performer are also based on the material modes of nature. So there are three kinds, three modes of material nature. So three kinds of knowledge, action, and performer of action. Okay. Now Krishna is talking about the knowledge. So like we already discussed, goodness, passion, and ignorance. The knowledge, if a performer does any activity with undivided spiritual nature, okay, seeing that spiritual divine fragment of the super soul, or Krishna Paramatma in all the existences in an undivided form, okay, that person or that kind of knowledge is situated in the mode of goodness while doing the activity. Okay, like how Arjuna finally proved himself to be in the mode of this mode. He just performed the action, or he just fought in the war. And why? Not because he wanted to win, or not because he wanted to kill somebody, or nothing as such. All he not even because he wanted the kingdom, right? All he did, or why he fought, because Krishna wanted him to fight, right? He saw that uh, Krishna's order in every bit of fighting that he did. He was just thinking, okay, Krishna's order. Krishna asked me to fight, Krishna ordered me to fight, so I'm fighting. So this in this mentality, if we do our activity, anything, even eating, okay, this is Krishna prasadam, that's why I'm eating. In this mentality, if we do any activity, then we are said to be in the mode of complete knowledge, okay, goodness. And passion, uh, if uh, uh, if you're doing the activity by knowledge, which a different type of living entity is seen to be dwelling in different bodies, okay, if you're differentiating, see, the same Paramatma is dwelling in all the living entities bodies, but people in the mode of passion start discriminating between individuals, right? um, he looks at probably a class B officer in one vision, and a class A officer in with a different vision. There's no equality, right? That this kind of discrimination, if a person is doing while doing the activity, then that person is said to be situated in the mode of passion. The knowledge in itself is said to be situated in the mode of passion. Okay, and ignorance. So um, if one is attached to the one kind of work as the all in all without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager attachment to work, first of all, and the results of the activity. Okay, first of all, if a person thinks of what the person is going to get in return before even doing the activity, and if the person does the activity by completely attaching himself to the activity, then that kind of a knowledge is called is said to be in the mode of ignorance. नियतं सङ्गरहितम् अरागाद्वेषतः कृतम् अफला प्रेप्सुना कर्म यत् सात्विकम् उच्यते. So we have to perform our activities with our regulative principles in mind. Okay, so regulated occupational duties is very important. Okay, as prescribed in the scriptures in terms of different orders and divisions of society. So performed without attachment, proprietary rights, and therefore without any love or hatred towards the activity. Okay, that is, we already saw, we should not get attached to the activity. We should not love or hate the job that we are doing. Okay, we have to be neutral to it. Okay, and because we are doing it for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. यत्तु कामेप्सुनो कर्म साहंकारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासं tadrajasam udashatam. So actions performed with great effort to gratify one's desires, done with a sense of false ego, are in the mode of passion. Okay, we already saw this, right? If you want to gratify your own senses by doing the activity, then you are said to be in the mode of passion. अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनुपेक्ष्य स पौरुषं mahad arabhyate karma yattattamasamuchyate. The accounts of one's actions have to be given to the agents of the Supreme Lord, the Yamadutas. At the time of death or after death, where do we go? We go, Yamadutas come to us and we go to Yamaloka, right? Where we get to, Yamaraj maintains accounts of each individual, okay, what we do in our janma, and then finally there we get interrogated based on our papa and punya. We get our next life, we have to get our punishments and all that there. So we have to keep that in mind in this life itself while carrying out our activities. Okay, there is a line in Bhaja Govindam, uh, any little devotional service that you do, no, you don't, if you do devotional service to the Lord, Murari, kriyate tasya yamena na charcha. Okay, you don't have to face any discussion with Yama and, after your death. Okay, if you do devotional service to Murari, then Murari does not give you any chance to go and meet Yama in Yamaloka after you die. Okay, the best example is Ajamila, right? Both when Ajamila died, both Vishnudutas and Yamadutas came, right? And Vishnudutas told, no, you cannot take him because he is a devotee. He was a devotee, right? And then Vishnudutas came and gave him a second chance. Yes or no? So, any little devotional service that you do, Krishna maintains accounts. Okay, and if we don't we will not remember what kind of devotional service we did in last janma, but he remembers. Based on that, he will show us the way, and he will help us advance in our spiritual life. Okay, and if you're not aware of all this, if you're not aware of the supremacy of the super soul, and if you don't know that it is the super soul that has to sanction every activity, and if you're just whimsically doing because you want to do it, then you're said to be in the mode of ignorance. Okay, and such people also do destructive activities. Okay, so we just saw, now based on the worker. Okay, the worker is also based on the three modes of material nature, right? So the worker is said to be in the mode of goodness if, again, if he's free from the material attachments, false ego, or false ego as in false pride. I am the body, I am a man, I am a woman. These kind of false attachments should not be there. Okay, and the worker has to enthusiastically perform his duty, even if it is tiring and troublesome, because the duty is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Okay, that such a worker is said to be in the mode of goodness. And a worker is said to be in the passion if the worker is so much attached to the fruits of the activity. Okay, and if the person is using all the fruits for his own sense gratification, if you do that, we automatically start becoming greedy. We want more and more money, more and more comfort, thinking that these comforts, this money is going to give us happiness. Okay, but we have to face the distress, face the uh, papa karma for doing sense gratification. Okay, because karma binds us. And then worker in the mode of ignorance. Okay, like we already saw, very materialistic, obstinate, performing destructive activities, cheating others, insulting others, right, killing people, taking away life from other living entities for the sense gratification of the self. Okay, such people who always procrastinate things, who are lazy, who are always sleepy, okay, who are performing activities which are against the scriptural injunctions. These are all said to be describing worker in the mode of ignorance. Okay, so we have to worker in the mode of ignorance, no, they accept religions which are not even described in the scriptures. They create their own philosophies and religion, and they think that is right. Okay, they misunderstand truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. Okay, completely what is it called, delusion. people in ignorance are completely delusioned. Okay. And they also underestimate the great soul to be a commoner, escalate a commoner to be a great soul. Okay. So their intelligence is totally pervaded, bewildered. And now, um, so now Krishna explains the intelligence. Okay, intelligence is also based on the three modes of material nature. Okay, so how what kind of intelligence is said to be in the mode of goodness? Okay, that if we are aware of the fact that we are supposed to do any activity because it is ought to be done. Okay, why? Because it is our duty and we are doing it. Okay, our duty is to follow the orders of the Lord, and if Krishna has given us this duty, any job that we are doing is also given by Krishna, right? If you are a teacher, Krishna has made you a teacher. Krishna wants you to work as a teacher, right? So your duty is to teach because Krishna wants you to teach. If this is the mentality or the awareness of the person who is doing the activity, then that sort of intelligence is liberating. Okay, it's conducive to liberation, and that mode is called as that kind of intelligence is said to be in the mode of goodness. Okay, and then next is passion. Okay, so whether religious or irreligious, the person is not able to differentiate or distinguish. Okay, the person is ready to do anything for money or any sort of returns. Okay, to gratify the senses. If that kind of awareness is what the person has while doing the activity, then that kind of intelligence is said to be in the mode of passion. Then ignorance, completely delusioned. Okay, under the spell of illusion, the person takes a wrong direction and the person doesn't even know that he's taking the wrong direction. Okay, sometimes we feel like pitying the people in the mode of ignorance because they half the time they don't even know that they are doing wrong. Passionate people, they also don't know, they cannot differentiate between right and wrong, but they are actually at least doing it because they want enjoyment and they are getting some kind of material enjoyment at least. But ignorance, they are not even getting enjoyment, right? For example, alcohol, what are they ultimately doing? Damaging their liver, right? So no enjoyment at all. Okay, now Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Krishna explains about that here. With determination, we have to carry out our activity, however difficult the activity is. We already saw, right, in the mode of goodness, a performer thinks that the activities ought to be done, so he does it. Right? It is our duty to do the activity, however difficult it is. With determination, steadily fixed in Krishna consciousness, we have to do the activity. Okay, if it is becoming difficult, we have to chant and ask Krishna for mercy and help. Okay, not renouncing it or quitting. Okay, quitting is not what Krishna wants us to do. Okay, and then so with such determination, one's activities of mind, life and senses must be accomplished. This is said to be in the mode of goodness, abhyabhicharinya. Okay, this is the word Krishna uses. What is abhyabhicharinya? Focused. Okay, so completely focused on the goal. What is the goal? Finishing the activity and leaving the results to the Lord. This is the goal is not to take the results of the activity. Goal is to successfully accomplish the activity. Okay, if you are also in avyabhicharinya state, fully determined, then nothing can distract. Okay, now that Krishna spoke about determination, he talks about the three. Again, determination is also based on the three modes of material nature. As far as we are in the material world, nothing is inevitable, nothing is separate from this three modes of material nature, because the presiding deity is the material, Maya, right? uh, Durga Devi. So determination, we already saw avyabhicharinya, unbreakable, steadfast determination. Okay, by yoga practice. Okay, what is yoga practice? Bhakti yoga practice is also yoga practice, right? Steadiness, thinking in mind ki it is for Krishna that I'm doing all the activities. That is called you're situated in yoga. Okay, and if that that kind of determination is said to be in the mode of goodness. Okay, if you're so holding fast to the fruitive actions or fruitive results of the activity for economic development or any other sense gratification, then you're said to be in the mode of passion. That kind of determination is said to be in the mode of passion. Okay, and again, dreaming, whimsically doing activities, fearfulness, lamentation, regret for doing it, okay, and then illusion, okay, thinking truth to be untruth, untruth to be truth, okay, these are all qualities or determination in the mode of darkness or ignorance. सुखं त्वा इदानीं त्रिविधं शृणु मे भरतर्षभा अभ्यासाद् रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति. So, best of Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned souls enjoy and by which sometimes comes to the comes to the end of all distress. Now, the happiness that we get is also in the mode of three modes. Okay, so so in the beginning, if it is poison, and at the end, if it is, like nectar, then that kind of happiness is situated in the mode of goodness. So example, uh, you study very hard for exam, okay? So studying hard, working hard is like poison in the beginning, right? Because you have to, sacrifice all your comfort, sit and study very hard, right? Or working hard in office throughout the month, you work very hard, right? So it is like poison in the beginning, but end of the month you get nice salary incentives for that, right? And if you've studied hard and then you've got good marks, that means it's like nectar at the end, right? So this is called happiness in the mode of goodness. This is the right path we all have to take. We have to work hard and then get good results, okay? And because you're sacrificing that results to Krishna, this kind of happiness is said to be in the mode of goodness. Now, if it is a nectar in the beginning and then poison at the end, like you have exam tomorrow but you don't want to study and work hard, so you go watch a movie, okay? So you're watching a movie, right? You're getting a lot of pleasure by watching movie, so it's like nectar in the beginning, but you go fail in the exam because you've not studied. That is poison, right? Poison at the end. So it is nectar in the beginning but poison at the end. This such kind of happiness is said to be in the mode of passion. And ignorance, it is poison in the beginning also, poison at the end also, okay? Because take for example, drug addiction, okay? You take drugs or drinking, smoking, okay? You smoke whatever it is, um, it is harming your health, right? And if you continuously do it, it finally destroys your entire system, your body, right? So it is poison in the beginning, poison at the end, okay? Because we are very blind to self realization, delusion, okay? So beginning to end, it is just suffering. That kind of happiness is said to be in the mode of ignorance. न तद् अस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्त्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यद् एभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणः. Okay, there is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. Like I already told you, as long as we are in the material world, we cannot be free from the three modes of material nature. Okay, that's why Krishna confirms even in the higher planetary systems, even demigods are not free from the material modes. Right? That's why they also get pride sometimes. No, that's the reason Govardhan Puja happened, right? Indra got pride, and Krishna wanted to destroy that pride in his devotees. He doesn't like pride in devotees, and that's why Krishna stopped Indra Puja and started Govardhan Puja. So everybody, anybody in this material world on the material platform cannot be free from the three modes of material nature. All we can do is aim to go to the mode of goodness. Okay, whichever mode we are in, go to the mode of goodness. So it is easy for us to go to the mode of Shuddha Sattva Guna, pure goodness. Okay, and transcend the three modes of goodness. Okay, Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Vaishyam Shudranam Cha Param Tapa Karmani Pravibhaktani Swabhava Gunai. The Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own natures in accordance with the material modes, O chastiser of enemy. See, Krishna again makes it clear. He already made it clear in the previous chapters. Okay, here also he is making it clear. Guna karma vibhagashaha, Krishna says in the previous chapters, right? Based on the guna and karma, based on the nature of their life and their activity, Krishna has made these four categories of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. It's not based on birth. A Brahmana's son cannot be a Brahmana. Okay, we have to understand this. A Kshatriya's son cannot be a Kshatriya unless and until we do the activity, and unless and until our nature supports it. Okay. Yeah, so freedom from reaction by doing occupational work. This is the essence of renunciation. Okay, freedom from reaction by doing the occupational work. Only the moment we sacrifice the results to the Lord, that is when it is also called as nishkama karma, that is karma yoga. Okay, that is when we are freed from the reactions or the karma bondage. Karma cannot bind us. Okay, and we don't have to suffer our reactions. Okay, because Krishna will take care. We have sacrificed our results or fruits to Krishna, right? So he will take care. Okay, and one more most important thing is we have to do our prescribed duties. What is prescribed duties? A brahmana's duty, a brahmana has to do. Okay, what is brahmana's duty? Patan padan, right? So brahmana's duty is to study the scriptures, Vedas, and all, and spread the knowledge of Krishna consciousness to everybody else, the Vedanta knowledge to everybody else, and to guide the society in the right path. Okay, that's why olden days even kings, kshatriyas used to take guidance from brahmanas, right? Because they are said to be intelligent class. Kshatriya protecting the nation, protecting the people, right? Administration. Vaishyas uh, taking care of cows and doing agriculture, and all other business activities, right? And Shudras labor class. They must follow the orders of Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, and Brahmanas. Okay, so this is called prescribed duties. Okay, so we cannot go and do whatever we like whimsically. Okay, if we our nature and our karma is defining us to be a Vaishya, we have to do a Vaishya activity only. Okay, so peacefulness, self-control. So Krishna is describing the activities or the qualities of each brahmana, what qualities the brahmanas have, what qualities kshatriyas have, etc. Okay, peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities that brahmanas have. Okay, so if these qualities you have, then you fall under Brahmana, even if you are born in a Shudra family. Okay, and so once you come to Krishna consciousness, all of us are considered telling the scriptures. I mean the knowledge, giving the knowledge to others, and we are doing the devotional activities, right? Chanting, and with chanting, what do we get? Peacefulness, self control, austerity, purity, tolerance, all these qualities automatically we start developing because of the power of chanting. Yes, so once you come to Krishna consciousness, you become a Brahmana. That's why Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness is available to everybody. It's not that okay, Shudras cannot take up Krishna consciousness. A Shudra can also become a devotee. I mean, Brahmana by becoming a devotee of Krishna. Okay. Next, Kshatriyas, heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership. These are the qualities of Kshatriya, because the Kshatriya has to fight and protect people, right? And then farming, cattle raising, business. These are the qualities of Vaishyas, and for Shudra, perfect. Now please hear how this can be done. Okay, by doing our prescribed duties. Okay, we can, so Krishna is telling, right, by doing our prescribed duties, we can become perfect, as in go back to Krishna. Okay, we can attain moksha. See, this chapter is completely on moksha sannyasa yoga, path of liberation. Okay, by following whatever Krishna says in this chapter, we can attain moksha, liberation, as in going back to Krishna loka. Okay, so by doing these activities, Krishna says we can go back to Krishna. Okay, how? यत प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वम् इदं तथं स्वकर्माणा तम् अभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विदति मानवा. So by worship of the Lord, who is all source, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, man can in the performance of his own duty attain liberation. So like the picture says here, by keeping Krishna in the center, whatever duties we are doing are prescribed duties. If we keep Krishna in the center, we can go back to Krishna. Okay, the main aim of this varnashrama dharma is you know allowing people to perform devotional activities or devotional services with complete focus and freedom. Okay, if a brahmana does his prescribed duty, that is sharing the Vedic knowledge with everybody, educating the society, bringing the society to the right path, okay, guiding everybody, then others get perfect guidance, correct guidance, right, for the classes of people, and they also behave properly in life. By doing that, what happens, they will also understand their Krishna, their path to liberation, and they can take it. If Kshatriya performs his duty properly, protecting the nation, then everybody in the nation can be happy, right? Only if we are happy and comfortable, we can advance in our spiritual life properly, right? If we are in mental distress, if somebody is coming and killing us, the enemy nations are coming and killing us, how will we perform devotional activity? We cannot, right? And a vaishya, if there is economic development in the world, then definitely kshatriya can do the administration properly, right? If vaishyas do not earn money and pay taxes to kshatriya, then how will kshatriyas do the administration properly? And if vaishyas do not do go seva properly, go samrakshan and all that, then how will we get milk and proper food to eat if they don't do agriculture, right? And shudra, if there is no labor class, if we have to perform all the duties, then again where is the time for us to do devotional service? So that is the reason Krishna has made these four classes of categories, so that we can do our, each one is assigned its their prescribed duties properly, so that we have enough time for Krishna. Okay, but now today what has happened, we have misunderstood all these categorizations, and we are just fighting for position. We have nobody is great. Okay, nobody is top position, nobody is in the down or the last position. We are all doing this so that we can mutually cooperate with each other and go to take the path of Krishna consciousness. That was the main goal why Krishna categorized, but we have forgotten the main purpose behind it, right? So that is why what the setup or the arrangement that Krishna had done is not really becoming effective now. Okay, it's not giving us any benefit right now. Okay, so as part and parcel of the Supreme, it's one sacred duty to render service unto the Lord. Okay, so that's why everyone should be engaged in devotion prescribed duties. Okay, so generally Vaishnava devotees worship the Supreme Lord with his internal energy, Radha Krishna, and the external energy is the background. External energy is the Maya, material world that we have. Okay, and his plenary portion is Paramatma, situated in everybody. So this super soul is there in all demigods also, not just in human beings. And super soul is there in animals also, right? So that's why we have to keep Krishna in the center while doing the prescribed duties. Okay, so the satisfaction of everybody. Tesham aham samudharta. Krishna himself takes charge of delivering such a devotee who is doing his duties in complete intelligence. Okay, that's why Krishna just told we can attain perfection of life or attain liberation by doing our prescribed duties as it is properly. Okay, now, like I already told, if our qualities and karma describes a brahmana, then we are a brahmana. A brahmana's son cannot become a brahmana, right? A doctor's son cannot become a doctor, yes or no? Unless the son goes and gets an MBBS certificate and starts practicing, he cannot be called a doctor. Same way, a Brahmana's son is not a Brahmana. The Brahmana's son has to prove himself to become a Brahmana, okay, by doing Brahmana's activities. Okay, so a son of a Brahmana is called Brahmabandhu, not Brahmana. Okay, unless he is a Brahmana, he is really a Brahmana. Okay, so example here is it's a very nice example. Okay, so there are so many animals. Okay, birds are here, crow and all. Then there's a monkey, penguin, elephant, right? And then a crocodile, fish also, and then a dog or a wolf. Okay, now this human being sitting here, he is like whoever climbs the tree first wins the race. Okay, different animals are good at different things, right? uh, um, a penguin does not have any ability to climb a tree. Elephant does not has the ability to climb a tree. Fish cannot climb a tree. Yes. So so you cannot generalize it. So what we are doing in today's society is the same thing. A brahmana is good at doing brahmanical things. He is good at shastras. He is good at guiding people. A kshatriya is good at kshatriya things, right? A kshatriya is good at fighting. You cannot ask a kshatriya to do business or agriculture in the field. Yes or no? So if a kshatriya, so that's why I told you a brahmana's son, if that brahmana's son is finding it difficult to brahmanical duties, then the brahmana's son needs to do whatever he is good at. Okay, even if he is good at shudra duties, labor class, he can do that. Okay, why? The main purpose is keeping Krishna in the center and going back to Krishna, right? So based on the qualities and the karma that we have, we belong to each of these four categories. Okay, so shreyan swadharma viguna paradharmat Svanushtitat Swabhavaniyatam Karma Kurvanapnoti Kilbisham. It's better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Okay. Prescribed duties according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. Kshatriya's duty is to kill enemies. Okay. So Arjuna, even after killing so many Kshatriyas, and even Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya will never incur sin because he is a Kshatriya by nature. Okay, he is an administrator by nature. So by performing our prescribed duties based on our nature and karma, we will never incur sin. Even if they are difficult and even if we are performing those duties imperfectly, we will never incur sin. Okay, so we have to perform even if we are doing it imperfectly. Krishna has given us that leverage, right? No work is abominable if performed in the service of the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada explains in Srimad Bhagavatam very elaborately. Prabhupada explains, okay, whatever you do, a duty you're doing, if you're doing it with Krishna consciousness, if you're a devotee of Krishna, if you become a devotee of Krishna and do that activity, then that activity is going to become akarma. Okay, devotional service to the Lord, whatever you're doing. Okay, so that's why doing our prescribed duties is one way to attain moksha. Okay, we just discussed this, right? A kshatriya's duty is to definitely protect the nation. He needs to go however far possible to protect the nation, right? Arjuna killed so many people, and he will never be incurring sin. He will not be guilty of anything because he did it for the sake of Krishna, and that is his swadharma. Swadharma is one's own duty. Okay, by nature Arjuna was a kshatriya and he did his own duty. Okay, so why will he incur sin for that? Yeah, so these are just examples that Prabhupada has quoted. Okay, Kshatriya, Vaishnava, Shudra will serve the Supreme Lord by their own categories of work. Okay, a Vaishya should not think, okay, I will also go to Veda school, learn Veda, and start guiding people. Okay, no, because a Vaishya's duty is to serve the society, right, through business and go seva and business, agriculture and all that, right? So ultimately the point here is, the ultimate point here is, whatever duty you're doing, whatever varna you belong to, you have to understand that Yajna Purusha is Vishnu. And all that we are doing is to satisfy that Yajna Purusha, not for our sense gratification. We are not supposed to satisfy our personal senses, but we have to satisfy Krishna. And that is why we are doing all this, even if it is difficult. Okay? Yeah, so engaging consciousness in devotion, engaging the consciousness in devotion, like how a fish, subconsciously swims in the water, right? A fish does not have to put any special effort, or a bird does not have to put any special effort to fly, or fish does not have to put any special effort to swim, right? These are all involuntarily happening, automatically happening. Same way, swadharma or swadharma of a human being is devotional service, surrendering it to the Lord. Okay, that is our swadharma. But we have forgotten our own duty only today. Swa means own, dharma is duty, one's own duty. We have forgotten our own duty. That is surrendering to the Lord, right? And we are doing everything else apart from our swadharma today. Yes, so that's why Krishna has given us Bhagavad Gita and sent acharyas to remind us of our duties. Okay. Give me a second. Yeah, yeah. And if we give up our duty, our prescribed duty, considering it to be tiring or anything else, like Arjuna. Okay, if Arjuna in the first chapter he told he will not fight, right? If he had stopped fighting and he ran away, went to the forest, and he because he told, no, I will go to the forest, beg and live instead of killing my own Gurudev and all that. So he was emotionally talking. So if he had done that, people would condemn him, right? Even today, we would all condemn Arjuna and say he's an escapist, right? So that's why whatever it is, our duty we have to do with our complete determination. Okay, because that is the dharma of the soul, and dharma of the soul is to do devotional service to the Lord. Okay, through whatever we are doing, through our activities, we don't have to change ourselves. Okay, whatever we are doing, turn it towards the Lord. Okay, that's how we do we do devotional service to the Lord. And that is our swadharma, engaging in devotional service, so that we can go back to Lord easily. So Krishna explains in this chapter all direct ways, to attain moksha. Now, sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva prapebhyo mokshasyami ma shuchaha. Very famous shloka. Everybody knows this shloka. Right? Finally, Krishna says, give up all your dharmas and surrender unto me. Simply surrender unto me. This is apt for Kali Yuga people, because we don't even know which category we belong to, right? Because of the kind of varna that we are all living in right now in today's society. Varna has totally been based on birth, right? Oh, you're from a Brahmin family, then you're a Brahmana. Oh, you're from a Vaishya family, then you're a Vaishya, right? So it's totally based on birth right now. So we don't even know which Varna we actually belong to. And people are all taking up wrong prescribed duties. Yes? So finally Krishna says, give up all the dharmas that you are doing. Simply surrender unto me. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a nice line given. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvedyeta yavatah matkata shravanadhau va shraddha yavanya yavana jayate. So we must keep doing our prescribed occupational duties as long as the taste for devotion through hearing, chanting, and meditating on the way leelas of God has not developed. Okay. So understand this line. We must keep doing our prescribed occupational duties as long as the taste for devotion has not developed. Okay. So, if we are devoted to the Lord, we are not obligated at all. We don't have to do any duty. Okay. Sarva dharman parityaja, Krishna is saying, give up all your dharmas. You don't have to do any duty if you are a devotee of the Lord. Okay. And simply surrender unto me, Krishna says. Okay. Um, and this line also says the same thing, right? Your prescribed occupational duties come into account only if you are not a devotee of the Lord. If you are a devotee of the Lord, If you have developed taste for hearing, chanting, meditating, you have no material obligations in this world. Okay, you don't have to worry about your prescribed duties or anything as such. You simply have to surrender to the Lord and he will take care. Right, same thing Krishna says, ananyastintayanto mam ye jano paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Right, you think of me all the time, I will take care of your yoga and kshema, Krishna says. Yeah. सहजं कर्म कौन्तेय सदोषम् अपि न त्यजेत् सर्वारम्भा हि तोषेण धूमेनाग्निरिव इवावृतः. So every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, O son of Kunti, even if that work is done with full of fault. We already saw this, right? Even if the duty we are performing is done with full imperfection, human beings are never perfect, right? We have defects. So definitely whatever we do is also not completely fine. We will definitely do it with defects, right? But we should not give up our activities because we are doing it with defect. That's what Krishna is saying. Okay, we still have to continue doing our duties with determination because Krishna will accept it. Okay, because we are keeping Krishna in the center, we are performing it for the satisfaction of Krishna. Krishna will accept it. Okay, that is perfection, performing devotional service in the state of self-realization. So all our activities, prescribed duties become akarma or devotional service, which if we are doing it in that mentality. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigataspраha nishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasena adhigacchati. So now the essence, okay, the actual essence of the shloka, of the chapter. One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. This is the essence of the chapter. Okay, so far we were learning moksha sannyasa yoga means what? Through sannyasa how to attain moksha, right? Sannyasa means renunciation, giving up things, how to attain moksha. So now Krishna is saying, if you are self-controlled and unattached, who disregards all material enjoyments, can obtain this practice by practice of renunciation, highest stage of freedom from reaction. We don't have to get bound by the reactions of our karma or the duties that we perform. If we are self-controlled, what is self-control here? Don't keep on thinking about the the results that you get from the activity. Give away the results to the Lord. That is self-control. Okay, and then unattached. Don't get attached to the work or the results you get. Then material enjoyments. Okay, do it for the satisfaction of the Lord, not for our own sense gratification. If these three things are there, then by doing renunciation, that is giving the results to the Lord, we can attain liberation, because we will be free from the reactions of our work, right? So that such a person is called true sannyasi, attached to unattached to everything in this material world. Such a person will experience transcendental happiness. Okay, and then this is the right way of renunciation. Okay, and this state of mind is called as yoga rudha, or the perfectional stage of yoga, perfect yoga. Okay, this sannyasa is what we have to perform, not leaving everything, go to the forest and sitting, not saying okay I will quit my job and sit and just to go to the forest Himalayas and sit. That is not called renunciation. Doing our living our life the way we are living, but turning it toward Krishna and making Krishna the object of our life, this is called the actual sannyasa. Okay, so that's why Prabhupada says all of us can become true sannyasis if, by following this little logic, the simple logic. Okay, okay, so by this, from Jnana Yoga, we can directly go to Bhakti Yoga in this kind of mentality, in this kind of consciousness. If we perform any activity that we are doing, okay, from Jnana Yoga, we can directly go to Bhakti Yoga easily. Now the question मे संसाशेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठज्ञानस्य या परा. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one can be one has stage of highest knowledge by acting the way I shall now summarize. Okay, now Krishna is explaining how can one attain Brahman platform. Okay, which we will be looking in detail in the next class. Okay, so Brahman platform, that is the supreme Shuddha Sattva platform. Okay, pure goodness. Okay, that can attain by supreme, it's also called as supreme perfectional stage. Okay, and it is the stage of highest knowledge. How to attain this, how to go to that spiritual platform, we will be looking at it in tomorrow's class. Okay,